Hey guys, so today I want to talk about something called DNFing or did not finish. This is something that happens when you start to read a book and for whatever reason you decide not to finish it. There are many reasons for not finishing a book. Reasons can range from uh, grammar issues, typos, grammatical mistakes, significant plot holes, or something about the book just doesn't sit right with you. Whatever the reason, there is absolutely nothing wrong with DNFing a book. Life is short. I used to be one of those people who was like, well, I know I'm not really into it, but I feel guilty because I said I would read it. I started to read it. I feel bad. So I would read it anyways. And it would be one of those where I'd read 10% of the book and then I'd read something else. And then I'd read another 10% of the book and then I'd read something else because I just couldn't get into the story. And when I say I couldn't get into the story, I had one book that took me 6 months to read. And it wasn't because the book was poorly written or the characters weren't interesting. Funny enough, I read the first book and really enjoyed it. Like, got drawn into it, was really into the first book. The second book wasn't bad either. It took me a little bit longer than the first to read, but it wasn't bad. Got to the third book and I struggled. And it was just, I couldn't connect with the MC. And it was the same MC from the first two books, but the way that her character had developed, it wasn't for me. It wasn't something that I wanted. It wasn't something that I was into. And so I finished the book and then I DNF'd the whole series. There were 7 more books and I said, nope, I can't do it. This is not for me. I've DNF'd books for slow plots. I've DNF'd books. The most recent book I DNF'd, actually, interestingly enough, was a book where the writer basically glossed over the fact that one of the characters physically assaulted the main character. And the main character turns around not even 20 minutes after this physical assault and is like, oh, I still want you to be my guide and lead me around town because I feel like there's something between us. Something between us? Lady, this kid just assaulted you and you're okay with it? I couldn't do it. And I don't know if it's a cultural difference, if the assault or attempted assault was put in there as a shock value kind of thing, but it really, really, really bothered me and rubbed me the wrong way. And I was just like, no, not gonna happen. I'm not doing this. Not doing it. So I definitely DNF that book. One thing to remember when you DNF a book, don't review it. Don't. If you did not finish the book, don't review it. It's not worth it. What can you say? I mean, you're going to give it a bad score. You're going to give it a bad rating. And then you're going to say, DNF the book after 20% because of this. I mean, you didn't even read the rest of the book. Let's say that you DNF the book because there was no action. It was too slow at the beginning. You couldn't get into the book. It just wasn't for you. Okay, well, what if by page 100 the story picks up and it's all action and adventure towards the end of the book? Well, you won't know that because you didn't read it. You can't review something you didn't read. It just doesn't, it never makes any sense to me. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the hassle. It's not okay. It's not okay to review something that you haven't read. So if you DNF a book, and this is, I do it too. If I DNF a book, I do not review it. I just don't. I'm not going to go there. But the way that I look at it is life is short. Read what you want to read. Read the books you enjoy. Do not waste your time on something you can't get into. It's not worth it. And you're just going to be miserable and you're not going to enjoy the book and you're not going to be able to leave it a good review because you didn't enjoy reading it and it was a waste of your time. Don't read something that's going to be a waste of your time, right? So let's all read books that we enjoy. Okay? Happy reading.